Well, trash and junk are starting to pile up again at a Koreatown home. We first showed you the health and safety concerns back in November of 2021. Well, city crews went and cleaned it all up at the time, but now neighbors are worried because they say they can see the mess starting to grow again.
Yeah, so what is hoarder disorder? What causes it? How do you treat it? We want to bring in now Kati Morton, a licensed therapist who can unpack this complex illness. Kati, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know, I think just right off the bat, what is hoarding?
Yeah, hoarding disorder isn't just us wanting to hold on to more things. I know we use that term sometimes, like, oh, I'm such a hoarder, or I keep all my jeans, or something like that. Hoarding is actually a part of obsessive compulsive disorder, which means it's really linked to anxiety. So the person in this home probably feels a lot of discomfort, a lot of anxiety, and the way that they soothe is through keeping items.
And so as a loved one, what are the warning signs? Because like you said, people joke and say, oh, I'm a hoarder because I keep certain things. But how do you really know if someone might be starting to develop an issue like this?
Yeah, really where it becomes a problem is when it impedes our ability to do what we need to do. Like people who are hoarders, the person in this house, I would guess, can't use their shower, can't use their kitchen, right? The amount of things start to make living in your home impossible. It's not like you or I, like I said, if we all like, oh, I collect, I don't know, teacups or something like that. We organize them, we place them, right? We enjoy them. They don't get in the way of us living in our home. Someone with hoarding disorder is unable to live successfully in their home.
Well, and we talked about how the city came in November of 2021, they cleaned things up, but I have to imagine that if the person inside the home doesn't then seek some treatment or get some type of therapy, they're just going to go back to doing it. This must not be a surprise to you that this is happening again.
Unfortunately, no, it's not a surprise. If we don't treat the root cause, it's just going to keep coming back, right? We see that with all types of mental illness. You can't just take away the quote unquote ugly part of it and it fixes itself, right? Whatever's causing this person to have this deep level of anxiety and obsessions and compulsions, they haven't tapped into that. They haven't treated that. And so it's going to continue to happen.
And so what kind of treatment is available?
There's a lot of different options. I mean, cognitive behavioral therapy, like to your point, therapy is really where it's at. I know that medication, I'm not a physician, but psychotropic medication like antidepressants can alleviate some symptoms of anxiety. But I believe truly that it's the treatment. They need to talk to a therapist. Maybe it's a trauma in their past. Maybe they just don't know how else to cope. We need to figure that out, give them other coping skills, and help them slowly and healthily get rid of their excess items.
So if you were somebody in this neighborhood and you've watched this now, November 2021, that gets cleaned up, it's now coming back, is there anything that you can do to go talk to this person or try to get them help? I mean, it's kind of a slippery slope unless the person wants to go in, but it is obviously impacting, in this case, a lot of times it just impacts the person's home, but in this case, it's impacting the entire neighborhood.
Well, yeah, there's danger, right? I mean, there could be fire danger. I mean, we deal with fires, in Southern California all the time. Unfortunately, there's not a ton we can do. I know that you can call what's called the PET team or the psychological evaluation team. They can come in and assist and hopefully get this person the actual mental health treatment that they need. But it's really hard on the outside. Even if you're a family member or a loved one, we can't force anybody to want to get better, but we can encourage and offer that support to get the mental health treatment.
I found this very helpful.
Yeah, this is really, really interesting, and it could be helpful to people who have a loved one who's starting to exhibit some of these signs that this is the way to approach it. There is a way to get help for it, and it is treatable.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Kati, thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.